Hi, hello and welcome back, welcome to another Onkruid video. Playing with the upgraded Pyromancer today in this unedited Soulstone Survivors speedrun attempt, kind of, but again, as you have heard me say myriad times already, I don't think that this character is any good at actually attempting to speedrun. Although I kind of want to get every character available up there in prestige levels a little bit already, because I think that maybe it's gonna be part of the more late game mechanics once the game is fully released, so I want to diversify my pool of characters a little bit. And right now, we're also just here to have fun. We're not here to necessarily get the fastest wins, get the most wins, get anything like that anymore. No, we're just having a blast, exploring and rambling. We're definitely rambling. And that ties into the first topic I immediately wanted to talk about today is I always ramble in most of my videos. And it's about a whole lot. Don't really want any of this. Sure, we'll go for powerful strikes. It's about a whole lot of random shit at once. And most of the times I find that the most important part of my video. That's also why when giving a title to one of my videos, I most of the time pick something that I rambled about. Something like the main subject of my video. For example, the last episode. The one that it's going off before this. Let's go for a little poison build. We're having fun. The one that went up before this, I think, was talking about how my alcohol consumption is very limited and how I know my boundaries and all of those things. And then I named the episode something like that. I include it in the thumbnail, and that's that. I think that's a great approach, but I always thought that was a great approach. But some guy on YouTube, I think his name is Soulstone. I'm not really sure, I've just discovered him. It's actually giving me a new perspective on this idea. And that is that, well, if you name your episode something like the mission title or something, or the type of build you go in a game, it will definitely get looked up more often, you know? I mean, of course it will. This makes so much sense now that I'm thinking about it, but it didn't spring to mind earlier. When I created the Lord of the Rings A Better for Middle Earth videos, for example, the ones that I started my channel with, I always included something about what I was talking about in the title and thumbnail. And whereas if I would have just included something about, the mission I was playing, or maybe the army I was playing it with, those words would get looked up a bunch more often probably when people were looking for Battle for Middle Earth videos. I can immediately think of people, for example, getting stuck on a mission and kind of looking for a little playthrough of that mission, and then they would of course type in the name of the mission in the YouTube search bar. And I mean, of course, getting views and search engine optimization, SEO, is not all I'm looking for in this YouTube journey, but it is a nice little handy trick that I will keep in mind the next time let's go for flamethrower. We've never gone for flamethrower in the past. A nice little handy trick that I will keep in mind when I play a linear game the next time around. I might still be able to include it in my crosscode videos, but I don't know if I want to do it there, because I don't think a lot of people will look for quest names in there, because the quests are most of the time quite self-explanatory, quite easy. Although, for example, the Curing Trees quest, you do have to find their locations, so maybe people are looking for the locations in other videos, and I can still, it's all interesting stuff. It's all interesting things to think about. Interesting things to increase the growth of my YouTube channel. Another approach I have used to do that lately is commenting on a whole lot of people's videos. And not just like the spam comments like, hey, cool video, check out my channel, or something like that. No. I want it to be something sincere, so I always make sure that I watch at least part, but most of the time all of the video before I comment on it. And I find something interesting to say about it, or something friendly to say about it. For example, I just complimented the person on her audio mixing in her videos, because she really did a great job of like tuning down the music when she was talking, but bringing it back up when she was not talking, something I also always try to do in my videos. And I complimented her about that, and she was like, oh, thanks. And then on other videos, on RimWorld videos, for example, a RimWorld video I found, I was like, I've always wanted to try this game, but it just scares me because it looks so goddamn in-depth. And she was like, yeah, this and this and this. So I wanted to be a friendly way of kind of networking, spreading my name around there. And I don't know what other ways there are. I'm not one of those people that likes to repost every single video they upload on subreddits and stuff like that. You don't want extra dashes. because I don't want to be spammy. But then again, I do want to like market and network a little bit, so I want my videos to go out there, to reach the sky, go to the moon and even beyond. I want 20 billion views on every single video, which means that every person on Earth would have to watch it like 2 or 3 times probably, if I'm not mistaken. What's the Earth's population up to lately? Are we still at like around the 7 billion mark, or is that an outdated measure on my part? I'm not sure. I'm not sure on geopolitics and world events and stuff like that in general. Actuality or things that are happening right now are most of the times things that don't interest me at all, because they are so often related to politics and stuff like that. But I must say, now that I am such a proficient quizzing legend, I'm still really bad at it and I don't have knowledge about nearly as much as I would need to actually be good at it. But now that I'm trying my hands on that, sure, let's go for wounds, because we're applying poison and burn and all of those things. But if I would really want to try my hand at that, I would of course need to be up to date about all the events in the world. I would need to know that the first name of the Ukrainian president is not just Vladimir, but it is Volodymyr, and then his last name is Zelensky. I should know that the main Volkswagen building is located in Wolfsburg, a city that was important for Nazi Germany. I should know all of those things, you know, but I don't. I don't yet. Then again, I think that that second example is more something about history than something about actuality, but you get my point, I think. I need to pay more attention to the news, to the things happening around us, to the more general news articles, because I do still pay quite some attention to scientific articles, at least in the field of psychology sometimes. But like general news and just mainstream media news, no thanks, that's not for me normally. But maybe I should change that approach a little bit. Ooh, when you go these kinds of builds with a whole lot of stacking of effects and stuff, you are of course a Lord Killer Supreme. Because they have such a large health bar, the damage over time procs can really stack up on them, and it's fine. You know what else is stacking up? And this is my way of segueing into different topics just all the time. You know what else? You know what that reminds me of? You know this, you know that? What else is sticking up? My collection of rune dart tips in RuneScape 3. I have really been getting into A Friend. A Friend is a Lithuanian RuneScape YouTuber, a very well-known one. He has suffered through some controversies throughout his time already. Ooh, multicast of the Poison Bolt, but he is still a very enjoyable content creator to watch, because he just sinks in like 25 hours a day into the game, which is not something I would advise you to do, but it's his job, so I mean, it's kind of a devoted work ethic, I think. No, it's not healthy, it's just not healthy. They just have no life, those people, and I wish I would be like them. I'm just speaking from a point of jealousy. Either way, lately in old school RuneScape, the fresh start worlds have been released, where the economy is new, everybody has to make a new account and they have to start from a fresh point. And apparently that is something that had been done a month ago or something on RuneScape 3. The more modern, newer rendition of RuneScape. Something you can compare to vanilla WoW or classic WoW, and then retail World of Warcraft, where the most actual, the newest updates have been released already. And I really love watching people play RuneScape 3, because they know so much about the game. And I also quite like playing RuneScape 3, but it is hard for me because I don't know that much about the game at all. Like really not. I am not that knowledgeable about it, I am afraid. I still have a blast, of course, by doing things that other people have probably been doing for 25 years already, but still, it's fun. And that's why lately, whenever I am doing something else that doesn't require all my brain power, I have been AFKing on RuneScape again. You can find me in the Artisan's Workshop in Falador, which is, if you don't know, the place where a whole bunch of smithing anvils and ovens or furnaces are. Smithing being one of the skills in RuneScape, of course. And you can just see me whacking away at the anvil right there with a rune bar below my hammer, trying to shape it into arrowheads, because that is a free-to-play method to make some money, and it is very low click intensity. Every 5 minutes or something, well, I mean, you know, you have to get all of those bars in your inventory, so that takes a while. That's a bit click intensive and you need to wait for a while. But once you start smithing, you can chill for a while. You still need to click the anvil again sometimes, because otherwise you will log out, because they don't want everybody just to stay locked in forever. Of course, if you don't touch your character for a while, you will get locked out automatically. But either way, it's just something great to do while you're doing something else. I wish I could do it while I was editing and stuff. Well, while editing is maybe possible, but my computer is not powerful enough to run a game like RuneScape 3 and the editing software in the meantime. Old school RuneScape, I might get away with something AFK there, something low intensity, but I mean, old school RuneScape free to play is kind of doo-doo, you know, it's kind of ass. While as RuneScape 3 free to play is still fun for me because it's all so new still and stuff. I had a blast, like really a lot of fun when I was trying to kill the giant mole boss for the first time. It's like a very introductory boss with very basic mechanics that even free-to-play players can kill, so you don't need any fancy gear, great mechanics, great consumables to defeat him. But it just felt so nice to get into this new aspect of the game that I have never experienced before, because I have of course been playing RuneScape on and off for almost my entire life, to be frank. And getting into new things in that front is still enjoyable as hell. This run is also enjoyable as hell, by the way. It's just very calm, very soothing. We're not really doing anything. We're just walking around. A lot of people call these kinds of games, like Vampire Survivors and stuff, walking simulators. And I mean, I guess kind of, but I don't really mind that it's just a walking simulator because it just calms my nerves, you know. And that sounds like it's a drug to me, which video games kind of are, of course. They can be very addictive and they can serve as a source of escapism, that's for sure. And that doesn't always have to be bad unless you prefer the escapism over the real world all the time. Then you're starting to get in trouble a little bit, probably, because I mean, you still have responsibilities and things. You still have social relations that you should keep up. Not that you should be in a social relationship with every single person in the world, but it's a piece of life advice right there. Like, you think that you don't need other people and you think that you don't want to be in touch with everyone else, but in the words of Guillaume van der Stichelen, again, a Dutch commercial maker, we are connection. We are our connections with everyone around us, and you shouldn't underestimate that and the power and the impact that that can have on your life. A sub 10 run, just a nice AoE passive effect application build. And level 10, there we go, the first star. That means that the next episode will probably be with our homie, pardon me, the Barbarian, because I want to get him to his first star as well. And then we'll see what the future brings us for the rest. 7th of November is the full release of this game, or the early access of this game, and I'm just looking forward to that quite a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.